Hello, everyone. I hope you're all doing well today. If you have somehow found this video, thank you, and I hope you enjoy. The main thing that I'm interested in talking about today is something very personal. It's going to be one of many entries in this playlist I'm making, called Mapping My Soul, or Mapping the Habitats of My Soul, I should say. And I don't think I will ever be able to fully capture it all. I don't think I'll ever be able to fully see it, but I can at least make some headway in the crevices of it, in unveiling the crevices of it. And I definitely had one such revelation of sorts today. Now, to begin, I want to start with my idea of a possible mental model of sorts. One where the mind itself, and the soul to a lesser extent, is seen really as a biosphere. That with a series of different environments, and each of our thoughts, emotions, memories, so on and so forth, for both within and without, are in fact the flora and fauna of our environments, right? And the different personality traits, the things that we do either cultivate or destroy, or more so make impacts on these different realms of these different aspects and habitats within this biosphere. The biosphere that makes us, us. And there's so much to what we are, to what I am, that I don't know yet. And I think kind of seeing it as this entire Earth you have to explore is, to me at least, helpful. Because it shows just how dynamic, fluid, and complex we are. And yet, of course, there's also everyone else, right? Everyone else's consciousness impacts you. And so it's kind of like a world of world situations. And it's interesting to think about. But regardless, the main thing is this revelation I've had about a facet of my mental biosphere, the biosphere of my soul in some sense. And it revolves around this idea that I have a connection to the sea, to the ocean. I mean, for a long time, in fact, literally since the beginning of my consciousness, and even before, I've been attracted to the ocean and things related to the ocean. My first word and toys were about marine creatures, sea creatures. One of my favorite activities was going to the tide pools and searching for hermit crabs and all that. And throughout my life, I have done numerous different activities and presentations, from ocean acidification and the coral bleaching to the Pacific garbage patch and overfishing and so on and so forth. Though even now, where I am is close to the sea, and the first business venture I'm entering in is also connected to the sea, to the environment. And I've always lived by the ocean as well. Now, one would ask, why is this relevant? Because to me at least, it feels as though these things that keep this environment keeps popping up again and again, and it's not a coincidence. Not this many times, not in this way, not in this emotional impact. And in fact, the way in which I see my emotions a lot of the time, especially when I really go deep into my own mind, I see an ocean. I see coral reefs, whales, dolphins, sharks, octopus, all that kind of stuff. And most of my recurring dreams are related to water. And again, I don't think that's a coincidence. Now, I feel as though really this, especially my emotional side, is connected deeply with water, with the ocean, the tides. And in the same way that it acts as a bridge between islands, I think it's the thing that smooths over the different aspects of myself. It also acts as a connecting bridge, a connecting point and way to move through things, to bring everything together, the glue that holds it all. But even more so than that, especially when you just look at it, look at the ocean, hear the waves, the crashing of it all, you can begin really to understand just how powerful this really is and how majestic and terrifying it all is. And really, sometimes you will have just these weird thoughts and mental images come up of strange things that are hard to explain, but you feel deeply connected to it. That it's almost as if you've known for your entire life that there is this thing that you are connected to, the earth itself, and the earth itself is saying, this is relevant. This is something that you should focus on. And that a lot of people talk about the land that they are connected to, the ancestry they have. And undoubtedly, my ancestry is a large part of where I get my power from. Or at least a facet of it. Something I need to explore more. As is the nation that I live in. The culture that I'm structured in. That structures my understanding of things. That operates as a lens to look at the world through. But for as much as I'm connected to my ancestry and the land itself, I think my soil is the sea. It's not even an actual land, it's the ocean. Because for whatever reason you feel as though you would love to swim with the whales. Travel through the depths. And in the same way that little crabs uncover pieces of gold, do that yourself. Explore all the crevices down below, the same way you explore the crevices of the mind. Now, I don't know what this all means, but I think it at least is showing me that I'm more complex, emotional, and intuitive than I initially understood. And that there is this massive amount of energy in space, not literal space, but space within me, within everyone. And I think it's one of the greatest things you can do with your time, is you can begin to explore the aspects of yourself, right? And I will be the first to say that I am in no means, by no means, someone who knows myself particularly well. I haven't even lived very long. I haven't really experienced very much for someone my age, which means really I'm an experiential infant, not much more than a child. But I still am beginning to unravel a bit more of what I actually am, alongside who I actually am. And it's never easy, and I still have a ton of flaws, undoubtedly, but at least you're making progress. At least I'm making progress. And I know that in the end, something good will come out of this. In fact, I know something good will come out of this. It already has. This is just a short, quick revelation I had about the nature of my soul in particular, and that for whatever reason, I seem deeply connected to the sea, to this kind of labyrinth and womb of emotion of the world. And I love it. And so I can say proudly, in some sense, that my soil is the sea, and I am a servant of it, a willing servant. For it is the glue of my soul. Or at least it seems that way. But in the end, I'm going to have to do a lot more exploration. If you've somehow made it this far, I thank you. I hope you have a nice rest of your night, or day, or whatever time you may be in. Adios for now.